From the Artful Tourist Trailer Park Studios of Norma and Chattin, we present the flashcard series, Cut and Tuck. The Cut and Tuck card is very, very simple. I'm sure some of you will see this in the beginning and go ahead and just run off and make your own, which is a great idea. Go make something of it. But the basic premise of the card is one piece of fairly sturdy cardstock, and onto that cardstock we cut and glue a couple pockets or places to do inserts. Then we make some very simple, clever, cute inserts, put them in, card matches the envelope, we're done. To give you a few more samples, this is a great card to use. You can write a note, you can leave one of the tuck-ins more blank, you can put a gift card into the tuck-in. This is one for someone who might be having a rough day, and they can put in you can put in a tea bag and then a bookmark for them to maybe stay home and enjoy their rough day. There's lots of variations and every size will work. This is a traditional fold-open card that we created, and it's still got one tuck-in in it as a bookmark, just to show you how well they do in other colors. This is one that was done in fall colors with some basic gray paper. Again, it's got little notes, things you can write on, great stuff. And here's the second fall creation. So now we'll get started on how to do this. It's very simple. You're going to pick, stamp, cut, and adhere. So it's that simple. The first thing I do is choose an envelope size. I have found that I have a lot of envelopes I picked up on sale in lots of different places, and I have all these different sizes of envelopes, and I tend not to use them because I stick with a traditional, I think it's A4, A2 size, which is a half a sheet of 8.5 by 11 cardstock for my bases. But you can use any size for your bases, so move it up and jazz it up a little. I decided to use this size envelope, which is a 4.75 by 6.5 inch envelope. And as my base, since I'm really big this year on the recycle and renew, I had these pieces of stationery, which you can often find at yard sales, things like that. This is from a company that has gone out of business that I actually worked for. So I'll take this as my cardstock base, and I'll cut it to fit the envelope, which would mean I would cut it to about 4.5 by 6.25. Easy measurements to take and remember. So you'll do that, and then you'll start with your color scheme. Choose your color scheme. I chose for most of these cards in the sample we're going to make today just a really bright color scheme. So I went to my paper shelf, and it really works well and quickly if you use double-sided paper, which most of this is double-sided paper, and if you choose a kit that has some elements already in it. Like this one has these little cutouts, like almost tags. You can make a lot of things out of them. I believe this kit was from Die Cuts with a View, but it also may have been from K & Company because I threw the paper away. This is definitely one from K & Company that you can see. It's very usable, very easable. You can also switch them up and switch them around. The fall one I used basic gray papers in a 6x6 pad because that's really the only size you have to have. So pick your paper. Once you've picked your paper and your color scheme, then you want to choose your stamps. For the stamps here, I used these really cute little doggy stamps for most of the projects that we're going to see today, but you can get bold stamps. Again, they stamp faster and they will do you a better job, but you'll get a sheet of white or off-white basic paper. It does not have to be completely smooth cardstock. For example, this is a paper Temptress cardstock that has an opal sheen to it. It's a really nice cardstock. And you get your stamps. These are the dogs that I use. You ink your stamps, you stamp out on a large sheet of paper, and you get them all on one sheet of paper, or as close to that as possible. And that's your stamping. So you've got your base, your stamped images, and your color scheme. Now it's time to cut your pockets. So you'll go to your cutter and measure out, and I do these slightly wider than my cardstock because I want to give it a little room in the pocket. So I would cut these slightly wider than 4.5, and then I would go ahead and cut them 6 1/4 in the length. So you cut those, and that's what I have here. Once you've done that cut, then it's time to get the craft knife out, and you can use a couple different styles of craft knives, but do be sure and use a cutting surface like I have right here. And this cut right here is just a freehand cut, but I like to give it a little, you can see how I'm curving. Isn't that fun? And that's what you come up with. Now, if you've used double-sided paper, you've got a set like this, in a set like this, and you can switch them around, do what you'd like with them. But what I typically do to line up the card is I will use two pieces, one short and one long. If you run out of pieces or you have to trim something shorter, you can also, this is one where I just glued two together to make one of the pockets. It's just up to you as to how you'd like to do it. So you've got the base, you've got your pockets, you've got your stamp images, and now is the time to edge and assemble as desired. I am very, very big on making edges and, just edging the outlines. However, with this bright white, it's not always necessary, and I have found some freedom in not doing that. So you're going to then collect a series of pieces, like you'll have a short pocket, a long pocket. You may have cut out a one of the play outside, one of the words from your kit. This is just a little paper tag that I made in the coordinating paper, matted the design on there, added a little ribbon, and it's all ready to assemble. So take your base, and to assemble, you can, the easiest way, if you ask me, is just to use staples, but you can also, depending on the design of your card, like with some of those autumn ones that were a little nicer, I went ahead and used really sticky double-sided tape. But I'm just going to glue the sides, staple the sides for this one. And it's a little wider than your paper, so you pull it in on one side. See what I've done? So I've given it a little bit of pocket room. And that makes it easier to slip things down into the pocket. So I've got the little tag I created here, and he'll slip nicely into there. And then I've got play outside, which will slip nicely into there. And again, it doesn't matter if it doesn't hit or if you're upset that it's hitting. I could put one more staple right there to where that tag is going to hit. There you go. Coordinated staples, color staples, or there's fancy wide staples. You can use them all, again, as I said, or you can just glue. But you've got these two here, and they should fit perfectly into your envelope. And this technique should allow you to create about 8 cards in an hour's time. You do have to do a little bit of assembly line prep work, but of course all your cards are going to look completely different. For example, if you wanted, here's a background card that I went ahead and put a border on, and you could then say that's going to be the behind it tag, and that's going to be the in front tag. And I really liked this paper because it had this design already on it. So you could just do one pocket, maybe put a ribbon right there for that to be pulled out. Or you could put 2 in the same size pocket like that, send somebody a little sunshine. Again, different colors always do look pretty. Here's one, it's a smaller base. As I said, I got lots of different size envelopes. The pockets are from that K & Company set, so a couple nice prints. But I still used the love tag from the bright set and a bold stamp, which I need to mat and can pull in there to pull out. Or you could even just leave that peeking out. It's up to you. Lots and lots of variations. Of course, it's lots and lots of fun. The tips, again, are use double-sided coordinating paper to make it easier. Use bold stamps, and as you can see, I stamped most of these with what I call rainbow pads, which are pads with multiple colors in them, so I didn't have to color in much. Use staples or the double stick tape. The most important thing, of course, with all our flashcards is just enjoy it, have fun, and, get the word out there. Send out more handmade greetings every time you can. So it's Norma and Chattin from the Artful Tourist Studio saying, make something of it.